Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Stratford Enders. This is Gavin giving you a match review of yesterday's game against Fulham, and we're talking about the elephant in the room, which is Cristiano Ronaldo. So, yesterday's game, Manchester United 2, Fulham 1. Quite a middle of the road game, which is we got the result, which is great to end the World Cup, the break before the World Cup, to end that with a victory. It's fantastic. Christian Eriksen getting his first goal for the club, and Alejandro Garnacho with a stoppage time winner. Mood after the game was quite exciting. I was looking forward to it. A bit disappointed to, with the World Cup break and so on and so forth, that coming in there and not being able to, have any United to watch for some time. And then I was just about to go to bed last night, and my Twitter feed blew up with this story about the bombshell interview that Cristiano Ronaldo did with one of my least favorite people in Piers Morgan. So I started reading it, and to be honest with you, I was like, am I reading it correct? Is this true? And criticising Ten Hag, criticising Wayne Rooney, criticising Ralph Rangnick, criticising the way the club was run. So it's being shown over 2 nights on Wednesday and Thursday, I believe, on Talk TV. I will watch it just to see what kind of thing it is, but from what I've seen, I haven't actually heard or seen video footage of Cristiano Ronaldo saying that he doesn't respect Ten Hag. So, for now, I'm going to hold judgment on that until I've seen the full interview. But a lot of the fallout is that Ten Hag doesn't respect me, so why should I respect him? That's what the main thing coming from it is. It's done in bad taste, whichever way you look at it. It's upset me, it's angered me, it's hurt me, because when Cristiano Ronaldo left in 2009, I always kind of followed his career, and I always hoped that one day he would come back. Never thought that I would see it, but you live in hope that one day he would come back, and he came back, last season. I was over the moon when we signed him back. I thought, what an amazing time to be a Manchester United fan. After many years, we've had loads of, back and forth with managers, nothing really to shout home about these last kind of, 2013 onwards, since Sir Alex retired. So when he came back, and then obviously the fanfare against Newcastle, getting 2 goals on his debut, and on his second debut, and then, practically getting us out to the Champions League group alone, single-handedly, done the same in the Europa League. And then, so for that to happen, and then where we are now, is a little sad. Let's be honest with you, we look a better outfit without him this season. That's a certainty. We've looked better without him. He's scored 3 times. 2 in a Europa League game that I can remember. One of which was a penalty. Excuse me. But apart from that, he hasn't really lit up the Premier League or lit up the United team as things stand. I mean, the interview, he criticised Ralph Rangnick, saying that, he'd never heard of him and it was a bit of an embarrassment. He's gone on to say that since he left in 2009, the club hasn't really evolved. So, had he not mentioned anything about criticising Erik Ten Hag, again, holding judgment on it, but had he not mentioned anything about Ten Hag, I think we would have been having a different conversation about the interview. I think we would have been praising him, because it does appear to show the Glazers for what they are. And maybe he's done it in a way where he thinks that the fallout is, because he said the fans will always love me. So whether or not he's done it as thinking that it's another big push then for the fans to get the Glazers out. I don't know. But what I do know is that some of the things that he should have said, he said, and some of the things that maybe shouldn't have been said have also been said. Now that's a worry for me, because apparently I've heard this morning that he was told on Thursday that he wouldn't be in the starting lineup against Fulham, but he'd be in the squad. And then he reports that he's ill and he misses training on Friday and doesn't make the trip to Fulham down on Saturday. Obviously, his age is his age, and it's probably going to be his last World Cup, so I can understand he wants to protect himself for the World Cup. But just say, I want to protect myself for the World Cup. Don't say I'm ill and then, decide to drop this interview at 10 o'clock last night. I mean, we should be on here talking about Alejandro Garnacho and what a wonderful looking prospect he is, and as long as he can keep grounded, he will be an amazing talent. I've watched him for the under-23s and the under-18s for some time, and he is every bit as good as he looks. Just need to keep him grounded, which I think Erik ten Hag will do. Ronaldo also mentioned in the interview as well about that his daughter was taken ill in the summer, and that's why he didn't report for pre-season training. I mean, bringing personal life into it is not something that should have been done, and I think it's done out of bad taste. I think he's been misadvised in bringing up this interview potentially now. Piers Morgan said that Ronaldo approached him and said, I want you to do the interview. I know Ronaldo's done an interview back with Piers Morgan some time ago and they seem to get on quite well. But it's all over the Sun newspaper, which I'm not happy about because I despise the Sun newspaper, and it's all done by Piers Morgan, which anything he does is pretty much in bad taste. So, yeah, I mean, he left the ground early against Rayo Vallecano in the pre-season friendly in August. That was Ten Hag defended him there, saying, look, he wasn't the only one to have left, so why are you making it all about him? So, Ten Hag seems to have tried to defend him. But for Cristiano Ronaldo to then turn around and say that Ten Hag doesn't respect him, I'm as baffled as the next person. Now, with Ronaldo himself, he left early during the Spurs game, which was arguably our best performance of the season. I felt he should have stayed and, applauded the players for such a wonderful performance, but he didn't. And then, refusing to take part in training, refusing to refusing to come on against Spurs, the report said. When he was told to warm up, he said, I'm not going on. Dropped then for the Chelsea game. So, I mean, for somebody that, states that the club are disrespecting him, for not playing him every single game? I mean, what we're not forgetting is, Ronaldo, age isn't with him anymore. He's lost his pace. He's not the player he was. Yes, he can still get goals, but he's not the player he was. And he physically can't play every single game. And I understand Ronaldo's got standards and he wants to be playing every single game. But, if the manager's saying to him, you're not playing today, and he's just thrown his ties out to the pram because he's not the star of the team anymore, then, is this why he's done this outburst? There was talk that he was anchoring for a move away from the club in the summer. Nobody wanted him, apparently. Ten Hag has always said that he's part of the plan, part of the process. And ultimately, any decisions that Ten Hag make, I backed him when he dropped Ronaldo against Chelsea. I thought it was a fantastic, bold move. I've backed him in decisions he's made. Yes, he's made mistakes in starting lineups, bringing on substitutions at the wrong time. But let's be honest with you, it's a process and it's going to take time. And I do believe he's the right man for the job. And as Sir Alex Ferguson once said, no player is bigger than the club. as I said, I wasn't going to come on and do a live today, but I thought I'd jump on and do one because it saddened me, it's hurt me, it's upset me. But you can leave your comments down below with what your thoughts are. Daniel, we need to get rid of Ronaldo now. He now thinks he's bigger than the club. I get why he's frustrated not being picked every game. Totally agree with you, Daniel. His ego seems to have got the better of him. I do remember back in 2009 that he said that he felt like he was being treated like a mercenary or like a prisoner. It was based on some comments Sepp Blatter had made, but he left in 2009 and I was heartbroken because he was at the peak of his career. I followed his career and always hoped that one day he would come back, and when he did come back, it was fantastic. But for it to end like this now, I think personally there's no way back, and I think I was expecting the club to release a statement stating that his contract has been terminated with immediate effect. That hasn't come as of yet. I don't know if there's any kind of meetings taking place at the club at the moment. I mean, the club refused to make a statement after the game last night because they wanted to show harmony and they wanted to show togetherness. And then Ronaldo coming out and saying things like this doesn't really do that. So, I mean, I wasn't going to cover this story, but it's been bugging me all morning and I thought I'd come on and do a live just to give you my feelings on it. I'm sickened by it, I'm saddened by it. But as I said, let's not point fingers at the moment. I mean, I don't know if any of the subscribers have seen the video footage where he's actually saying Ten Hag doesn't respect him and he doesn't respect anybody that doesn't respect him. I haven't seen that, or whether or not that's the Sun just trying to coerce with a headline knowing that it'll sell papers, or Piers Morgan trying to get the last few tweets and trying to get retweets on it knowing that that's the case. I mean, the interview, as I mentioned earlier on, will be over 2 nights on Wednesday and Thursday evening on Talk TV. I will be watching it regardless because, I mean, when you look at what Ronaldo's achieved in the game, he's idolised by United fans. Daniel, when he has played, he hasn't played well. And when we've got players that are performing better than Ronaldo, then he can't have any complaints. Totally agree with you, Daniel, as I said earlier on. If you just jumped on now, he's only scored 3 goals for us all season. He's nowhere near the player he was last season. He's lost a yard of pace, in my opinion. We do look a better outfit without him. But it's just sad that, if this is how his second spell at United ends, then it's going to be very sad. I mean, I'll never forget him for what he's done for the club and what he's achieved in the game away from Manchester United. He's one of the greatest footballers that's ever lived. But this interview, I think, because, it's either been done in a way that to try and call out the Glazers for, there's been no invest. Like he mentioned that, the kitchen, the training facilities, everything is exactly as he remembered it back in 2009 when he left. So maybe that's a call out to the Glazers, saying that the Glazers haven't, they've run the club to the ground. Also stating as well in there that, Sir Alex was unhappy with the progress that the club has made. He said that he's not been wanted by the club. The coach doesn't want him, he said. And he also said something along the lines of, there's some senior figures at the club that don't want me there also from last season. I mean, the only senior figures I can think of are Sir Alex and Sir Bobby Charlton. You've got people like Brian Robson and Ambassadorial role. You've got, I can't imagine the Glazers not wanting him there because he's a cash cow for them. This is going to hurt them. And the likelihood is, that there'll be a statement at some point saying that they've agreed to terminate this contract with immediate effect, a mutual agreement. But, for me, it's just, I think if he hadn't have said what he'd said about Ten Hag, which at this stage, hold my hands up. Full disclosure, I don't know if that's been said. It's just what's been reported. I've seen some of the video footage where he's talking about, he says the coach doesn't want me. But that may be his opinion. You know, it may be because he's not playing and he's not in the first team. He may think that the coach doesn't want him. I mean, Eric Ten Hag has come out and publicly backed him and said, you know, when he walked off against Vallecano in the friendly, he said, you know, other players have done it as well. Let's not just make this about Ronaldo. But you know, he's made a tough decision when he left the ground early against Spurs. He dropped him then for the Chelsea game and said, you know, look, he needs to be brought in line with everyone else. So maybe, you know, Ronaldo doesn't like being told that he's not flavour of the month anymore. He's not, you know, top dog anymore. I think we should let him go in the summer transfer window. Ronaldo is a club legend, but there's no way back for him. He won't play for United again. I think, Daniel, he'll be going before the summer transfer window. I think he'll be going... I don't think we'll ever see him in a Manchester United shirt again after this interview. And by the end of the week, I wouldn't be surprised there's a statement from the club. Who knows? One of two things are going to happen. There's either going to be a statement from the club saying that his contract has been terminated with immediate effect, or there's going to be a fallout from this where the Glazers are forced to sell and Ronaldo gets what he wants from the interview. I mean, maybe he wanted to come out and say that, you know, the Glazers have run the club to the ground, and maybe that's what he was hoping to come from it, and then he's been misadvised on a few things. Who knows? The interview goes live. The interview is on Wednesday and Thursday evening. In relation to what we've got coming up on the channel for the World Cup break, me and Andrew have got some guests lined up, hopefully. We're going to be doing some features like top 20 United players. Will Ronaldo feature? I say that in jest. Of course, he's going to feature somewhere in there. Listen, this interview, it's not going to tarnish what he's achieved at the club and what he's achieved in the game and what he's done for us. We're going to have things like top 10 comebacks. Just trying to keep the page fresh, you know, with new content for you guys and for our subscribers. Speaking of subscribers, you know, you can join us on our Facebook page at the Stretford Enders. You can also smash a like on the video if you wouldn't mind. Share the content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Stretford Enders. Leave your comments down below here, and I will, myself or Andrew will comment on them. Thanks for joining Danielle in the live. You know, we've now got a feature that enables us to bring subscribers on, so I think you can request to join us in the live and we can bring you in that way. So if we're ever live and you want to jump on, feel free and we can bring you in and jump on the live with you. But yeah, smash a like on the video, share the content far and wide. Good luck to England and Wales in the World Cup. We'll do features as well where maybe we'll not go live, but we'll do like a review of United players at the World Cup. Whether or not we'll feature Ronaldo in this now, I don't know. But yes, thank you all. Great to get a result yesterday. Next game now is the League Cup game, just after the World Cup, I think. And then we're back in action then the day after Boxing Day against Nottingham Forest. But thanks for joining. Stay safe. Enjoy the World Cup. You know, comment as well with who you think is going to win the World Cup. I mean, I'm going to go for the Portugal-Argentina final, I am. There we go. Portugal will knock England out on penalties in the quarterfinals or the semi-finals. And they will play Argentina in the final. That's my prediction. I've said it to Andrew. And I'm going to go for Argentina to win the World Cup and Messi to win the World Cup and retire on a high. But thanks for watching. Take care and stay safe. And will he stay or will he go? That's the question I'll leave you with. Thanks for watching. Bye.